Welcome, welcome. My name is WriterMaven. I am the host of the Wrestling Receipts podcast. I cover all things Judgment Day, which means Dom, Liv, Raquel, JD, Ben, and Carlito. Also talk about Damien and Rhea too, of course. Um, and my girl Naomi. This is a SmackDown review previewing WrestleMania 41 Night 1 and Night 2. Just give my thoughts on some things like that. We are 2 hours away from HOF, so I'm going to be watching that as well. And I'm going to sign off before any of that happens because that's like at midnight my time. I'm not going to stay on that long. Um, and then I'm going to be talking about a bunch of other little things. But first and foremost, yeah, Senior, I hope the deadbeat dad is okay. Prayers to Ray Ray. Um, Prayers to Oscar. It looked like he got injured during the match against American Made, where he was teaming up with Ray Phoenix and Dragon Lee. It looked like he got injured. I've seen videos of where he got carried to the back. So prayers for him. Hopefully he'll be okay. Hopefully it's not too serious. If they have to keep him out of WrestleMania, by all means, please don't try to work through that, Ray Ray. We already know what's going on with your needs. And if they have to, they could probably slot in either Dragon Lee or Ray Phoenix for that. But I don't get the point of having that match right before WrestleMania. Like they could have just given that match to just Dragon Lee and Ray Phoenix if you wanted to do it. But it could have been just them doing that whole momentum thing that they start to pay attention to from time to time, where they wanted Ray to have the win, and so El Grande Americano would have the win tomorrow, and that's what I think they were going for. But yeah, I don't know why they would just. But I don't really get why they would want to do that match so close. Um, we have no idea if this impacts any kind of Dom appearance at the HOF. Dom's a professional, so he might even show up regardless, especially if there's not anything he can do. So he might show up regardless, but we'll just have to see how he looks if he shows up at all. But if it's serious where they have to do something, I don't expect Dom to be there. But if they still have to wait on some things, he'll probably be there just because, like I said, he's a professional, and it's one of these the show must go on type things with wrestling. So, um, yeah. So, like I said, prayers for Ray Ray, prayers for Oscar, and Jacob. I'm gonna get into this. Now that we're gonna segue, because there was a lot of pre SmackDown stuff, like Dom and Liv had a date before WrestleMania, and this is the boat ride Jacob was talking about. I think that was planned for YouTube. I mean, it's rarely anything in the WWE is off the cuff and unscripted. So if they were doing it, then they would have this. Is obviously planned. Um, it was very cute. I loved it. I'm really liking that we're actually getting these types of things. So for all the people that bitch about we don't get enough Live and Down moments, well, there you go. Would we like to see these on TV, like on a Raw, a SmackDown, um, a PLE? Yeah, of course. But we are at least getting all these Live Down moments on social media. So it does say they are keeping up engagement, even though Triple H says he doesn't pay attention to social media. Notice what he's doing with Liv and Dom. It's going on social media. Um, During this boat ride, um, Liv kind of hinted at Dom. She kind of hinted at helping Dom in some way. So I'm really thinking she's going to either help Dom win or she's going to take a spear from Braun. Like she's going to do something. If it's either bringing in this new Judgment Day member to help out Dom, if it's to distract Finn, if it's to just bring back JD McDonough, she's going to do something. And I would not be surprised if she takes a spear. Um, she takes that spear and Dom wins, then there you go. She's paying back what Dom did for her at SummerSlam. So I fully expect Liv to help Dom out. But they've been really, really cute. They've been doing so much social media and so many interviews. I mean, I've been fed like these past 2 weeks from like them in India, and then all the hot ones show, and then we have all this social media and interviews like for WrestleMania week. I've been fed. Like if you're a Live and Dom fan, you've been fed because it's been a lot Live and Dom content that's been heard away. I haven't seen all of it. I've been just pretty much keeping to like the summaries of it because it's just so much. You can barely keep up with it. And I really appreciate it. I really like how they're throwing some things out there. Um and I'm really happy for them. Like it's obvious they're really enjoying it, and I'm actually starting some stuff for Raquel too. I saw some little bit of stuff for Carlito. So Carlito had autographed apples for sale at WWE World for like $79. I want one so bad. I want those apples, and he has them for sale, and I can't get it. I need to. I want to get one of those apples. Um, but yeah, it's just been so much for Live and Dom stuff, like so much. I strongly encourage you to track down interviews. You can look it up on the X, and you can look up Live and Dom stuff on YouTube as well. Now, I'm going to talk about Rhea because, of course, I'm going to talk about Rhea, but I'm going to talk about this wackadoo fan that gave her adoption papers because he wanted her as his mommy. Now, this is not Rhea's fault. The fan is a wackadoo. I'm not placing any kind of blame on Rhea just because the fan is wackadoo. However, this is the same, this is actually the same day where this vlogger dropped of getting choked out by Rhea with her thighs and getting that pretzel pin. And I had to say, I said this in my group chat, like, I'm not blaming Rhea for the fan. You're going to have some crazy fans out there, and this was crazy to have drawn up adoption papers. Like, what? But this is what happens when you would just go for the Gunner base. It's going to happen. Now you're going to get some way out there fans. Yeah, everybody gets the way out there fans. I've seen the way out there fans, and any wrestler can get it. But this is like a side effect of that Gunner, just straight Gunnership. And we see this comes into play on SmackDown because I'm going to get into SmackDown and what happened with Rhea because I was yelling at my screen for the whole time she was doing that promo. So yeah, this is what happens when you attract that subset. This is kind of why they kind of shifted a lot of the women from the Diva division. When the Diva division was going on, like Divas, when they retired the women's belt and it was just Divas, and it was just a lot of this like women wasn't really wrestling. It was mostly showing off their body, and then and this is that came with the Attitude Era as well. So you go from Attitude Era and Ruthless Aggression era. It was just more of a objectifying women. You had women that could wrestle. Like I remember we had Lita and Trish, and then we had Mickey James, Melina, Beth Phoenix. We've had women that can wrestle in there. Jazz, Jacqueline. We had women in there that could wrestle. But the focus was always on, the eye candy with the women. So when we get to the PG era and they phase that out and then they go into the women's wrestling era, that kind of died down. Paige was the start of that because she was the anti diva. Now, regardless of how I feel about Paige, because boy, do I have some opinions about Paige, um, she ushered in the anti diva era, and so we got away from all this objectifying women, like with the photo shoots, like on. If anybody remembers Attitude and Ruthless Aggression era, they used to take the women and they would take them on like photo shoots, like they would get them together like these foreign photo shoots, like some island or something like that. I mean, I still have the Viva Las Divas, like they used to do the DVDs, and I had the Viva Las Divas DVD, which is just a photo shoot of the women, but that's because it had like the full uncut version of the Kane and Lita wedding on there, and that's the only reason why I bought it. But they used to do DVDs like that, and I told you I get, if you get messed up relationships like that. I'm there. I can deal with some toxic. I mean, that's just me. I mean, because toxicity lends you to a better storyline in wrestling world sometimes. But I recognize that it's toxic and it's fucked up. I'm not wanting to have that in real life, unlike some of these other gooners. But they used to do DVDs like that. So when Paige arrived and they started shifting this from divas to women's wrestlers, and then we had all these other women come up like Charlotte, Sasha Banks, Bailey, and Becky Lynch, then we don't have a lot of these photo shoots. So with Rhea, she's pretty much like being that diva again. And there's nothing wrong with it. You can be confident with your body, but it seems like there should be more of time and place with it. Like, you're gonna gooner's gonna goon. Like you will see pictures of, like I saw a picture of Tiffany Stratton now that was really looking good. But she has her pictures there, and she'll do some of these thirst trap pictures, but it's not all the time with Tiffany Stratton. Like you'll see Charlotte do some thirst traps. You'll see Liv, you'll see I've seen, what was it? Like Zelina. Zelina has a lot too. Zelina has a lot of thirst trappy pics too, but it's mixed. It's not like everything with Zelina is a thirst trap. And I think with Rhea, it just seems like that's gone overboard because she checks all these boxes for a lot of people, and now she's kind of stuck in this role right now because they want her to be this dominant, goth mommy, Mommy, and she can't get out of it because she has to adhere to this certain look. And then now this is where you get the situation of the guy having adoption papers because he wants her as a mommy. So it's just exasperate. It just exacerbates the whole situation with Rhea, and they got to do something about it because what happened today during the kickoff and what happened during SmackDown is ridiculous. Kickoff show. When the Dogman Braun Breaker came out with a fine-looking cowboy fit, might I add, the Texan in me heart skipped a beat looking at that Braun Breaker fit. We had Braun Breaker out there. I was kind of disappointed we didn't have Dom, Penta, or Finn out there as well, but it was just Braun. And we got, at Dom's name being mentioned, we got dueling chants. Now, it is very rare to get a dueling chant. The only people that get dueling chant, the only other person that only got a dueling chant is John Cena. And by dueling chant is like, let's go Cena, Cena sucks. That's what happened with Dom. So he is in some rare company. So at the sound of his name, at the mention of his name, he got booed. And then it switched to Dirty Dom chants, and then it switched back to booing. And the crowd was kind of switched back to booing, and the crowd was kind of split. And so it's a dueling chant. It's not like where you go from like a boo to a cheer, where and then that ends out the rest of the night. It was like the crowd wanted to go both ways, and that just indicative of how Dom's aura is. We also got Steiner Math, and I'm still on my 80-20% because 20% for Triple H is bullshit that Dom is going to win that match. I mean, things are just lining up for him at this particular moment. And then we got to the women's triple threat match. Holy shit. The glazing that Michael Cole and Pat McAfee did for Rhea was crazy. And then they were doing digs at Bianca. So when Bianca gets out there, she's already getting like a mixed cheer boo. And I'm like, why y'all doing Bianca dirty like that? She's right about Rhea, but like how we said regarding Rhea with Liv is that everybody's just going to get booed against Rhea, but at least with Liv, she was a heel. But anybody encountering Rhea, their character is just not going to be able to act right because Rhea will get cheered regardless. Like, what was she saying? Um, Let me go back to my X post because I did like mark down like what she said. Um, 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 oh, I was saying that like Bianca shouldn't be in the position that she is because the WWE fails to do what they need to do regarding Rhea's character. It's just it was just so much glazing, and then when Rhea's out there talking, I'm like, you headbutted and you headbutted your way into the match, Rhea, and then she's saying like I'm going to re-add Iyo to the mix. I'm like, Rhea, you got added to the mix. It was going to be Iyo and Bianca, and because you lost the title, and then you're talking about add Iyo. Like, it's just the whole promo work and the way that she's been acting is just crazy. And normally you would think that would be some character progression, but with Rhea, it's not. It's just she's just all over the place, and people will just continue to lap it up. It's just insane. And then poor Iyo was there. She comes out there last, and this is the problem I kept telling people last year with Iyo when they wanted Iyo in this match. Her limited English makes it where they put her in a position where she can't talk. So when Iyo comes out there, she's an afterthought. So she couldn't really get nothing in, and that happened during the SmackDown too. But it's like an afterthought. Like Pat barely remembered to mention Iyo's name. So I mean, you bring out Iyo last, and it makes it look like she's being an underdog, but she's not really an underdog in a true sense. An underdog would be like a Maxine. An underdog would be like a B Fab or anybody like one of these fresh young people for like NXT. Those are underdogs. Iyo is not an underdog. Not when she's won titles in NXT, not when she's won Money in the Bank, and not when she's won like the main roster titles like twice, and has been in matches at WrestleMania. Like she is not an underdog, and kept trying, and they keep trying to put it like she's an underdog, but she's not. That's why I'm thinking she takes the pin because like when we get to SmackDown, you'll see why. And then Damian and Drew got into a fight because they couldn't have a promo against because Damian can't have a promo war against Drew. And he was hilarious because he's saying like when I talk, people listen because he told people to put on deodorant. So he's taking credit for it. So Drew is just hilarious, and he's the master of promo work. So when Damian got out there, they just fought, and I'm like, oh, okay. So and then we get into SmackDown again. We have the women's triple threat promo with Rhea's promo making no sense. And then Bianca again gets booed. Now people are saying, well, then you can just turn Bianca heel. That's not going to solve the problem because the minute Bianca gets away from Rhea, she's going to get cheered. All Bianca needs to do is get away from Rhea. If they have Naomi just come in and knock her out, and she's away from Rhea, her character can recover. But this is the effect of the Rhea Ripley Vortex. Yeah, Iyo is getting cheered now, but that's because she's not really against Rhea. Bianca is against Rhea because she, you know, butted her way into the match. But because so many people love Rhea, they take anything against Rhea as like a slight and aggression against Rhea, so then she's going to get booed. So Bianca turning heel will not solve the problem because as soon as she gets away, she'll get cheered. And because of what Bianca does representation wise with other black little girls and things like that, I don't think the WWE is keen to turn her heel. Like you already got Naomi over here as the heel. She got cheered tonight. See, but that's what happens with Rhea because everybody alignments gets fucked up because of her vortex. Now Naomi's been killing it, and she's probably going to get cheered for that. But like I said, everything is fucked up when it comes to Rhea's vortex. So with Bianca, she just needs to get away from Rhea. And with that, we had Naomi come out to confront Bianca. And I was saying to like my group chat and on the X, like they really had to include Naomi and Jade into this promo just to make it look good. Because Iyo came out and didn't say a word. Again, that's that limited English. Because I'm pretty sure if she could have a better command of English, she would be put in this role right now. And then when Bianca comes out, it's like they say, "Well, Bianca's ignoring Iyo." Well, Rhea's doing the same thing. That's what kills me regarding Rhea. Rhea is doing the exact same thing as Bianca as it relates to Iyo, but it's worse. But Bianca, because she's against Rhea, the almighty Rhea, she gets booed. Because Rhea and Bianca are doing the same thing as relates to disrespecting Iyo. Like last time, it was like Iyo got pushed to the side twice by Rhea, but then Bianca gets booed. So that's the problem with this. And so when Naomi comes out, she's like, "Oh, I know I saw you on Read or something like that," and I was just dying because Naomi has just been killing it with her character because she comes out there and she's like, you care about her? All you do is care about Jade." And people still want to say, "Well, you could have put it where Bianca was the one in charge of she instigated like the thing against Jade." Now, I would think Naomi right now, if it meant exposing things like for Jade and really make Jade hurt, like she would expose Bianca's side by now. Like there's been word choices with Naomi where I would think like you could word it a different way to implicate Bianca. I am not getting this implication that Bianca was in on it. Like this is just wishful thinking from fans just because they want Bianca to turn heel. It's kind of like how they have wishful thinking with Liv, like with Finn, because they want Liv and Finn to hook up for whatever reason. It's a wishful thinking, or they do a wishful thinking as it relates to um the Judgment Day versus the Wyatt Six. It's like a wishful thinking from some fans. And but like I said, I haven't seen any indication that Bianca is in on it with Naomi. All I see clue wise, because they seem like they would have enough time because like I said, Triple H is not subtle. There would have been enough time with Naomi to put hints that Bianca was in on it. And they would have been more blatant clues. So, yeah. And I think it's what it's going to lead into is like Naomi still wanting Bianca's attention, and Bianca's not giving her the time of day, and she's going to snap and turn on Bianca at WrestleMania. She's going to cost her that match. That's my prediction on that because of what happened tonight. Like she finally sees that she's not getting through to Bianca. She's like, okay, fine. She takes care of Jade, and then the very next night she takes care of Bianca. That's what I'm thinking was going to happen with Naomi. Like I said, they had to really bring out Naomi and Jade out there to make things more interesting, and then here comes Rhea trying to get in Jade's face, and I'm like, Rhea, shut up. Like that wasn't not needed at all. That was a conversation between Bianca, Naomi, and Jade, and then here you come trying to inject your nose into it, like this isn't about you. Like, bitch, go sit down somewhere. And then it starts into a brawl, and Iyo still ends up on top again. So, like I said, I think Iyo is taking that pin. They're gonna save it in such a way where Bianca still has her not getting pinned at WrestleMania streak. So Naomi will take Bianca out at WrestleMania, so she's not a part of the ending sequence. And then Rhea will just riptide Iyo so she can get her win over Iyo, 1, 2, 3, and then that's it. That's the triple threat match for the women's title is the first one on night 2. So that sets the tone for the rest of the night because you'll get a big pop with big fireworks, and that's that. And that's my prediction. So, and then they had the tag team. They decided to do a tag team ladder match, going to be a triple threat set up for next week on SmackDown. Like, why couldn't this be on the actual WrestleMania card? Then you heard the crowd response; those were boos. So I'm like, okay, so is Triple H going to pivot now because the live crowds didn't like it? Now they're going to be in Las Vegas, I think, next week. So that Las Vegas crowd is going to see it still. But still, people were booing when they realized that it wasn't going to be at WrestleMania. So what you going to do, Triple H? You going to pivot? The Tiffany and Charlie promos were horrible. Like y'all had all these takes and they were just so dry, and that's gonna be shown tomorrow. This whole feud, that whole feud needs to end. It's just at the awkward point at this point. And then the John Cena stuff and Cody is just, it feels like John Cena's heel turn is very, very forced. Like all he does is come out here and try to read Cody for filth, but this time Cody read Cena for filth, and I was like, damn, Cody, because he was talking about like how he looked paler than Sting at Starcade, his spindly legs, and people are still saying that you can't wrestle. Like, damn, Cody, damn, I didn't have to read him like that. But yeah, it's just the whole thing with the women's tag. It's just a whole ass mess. I mean, the women's tag, the triple threat is a whole ass mess. And we didn't even get nothing for the women's tag. We didn't get nothing from, like, even on the kickoff show. We didn't get anything regarding Liv, Raquel, Lyra, or Bailey. We didn't even get anything regarding other intercontinental match regarding like Finn, Dom, and Penta. There were just so many people left off. AJ and Logan Paul. Like it's just a mess. I'm gonna go ahead and answer some questions because I'm gonna go into my predictions of the night one and night two card, and then I'm gonna go break down what I think is gonna happen during the IC match. But let me go ahead and answer some questions first. I'm gonna do an intermediate questions, and then I'll go into the night one and two card. Let's see. Senor said, "Dog calls Live my love in Spanish." Yeah, the what was it? The WWE Espanol has a like an interview up with Dom, and when it comes to the Intercontinental title, he said mine. So he still wants the Intercontinental title. I mean, it's just being presented that he doesn't want it. He wants it for Finn. So of course you got to watch Dom there. He's duplicitous for a reason. Kenji says, "Hey Kenji, they made a lot of Live and Dom content, and I love it. Yes, it's just we've been flooded with content, like so much content. Like you could every time you turn around, there's something new, interview wise or social media wise with Live and Dom. So it's been a great time to be a Live and Dom fan." Kenji says they were booing Cody. I'm shook. Yeah, I mean, it seems like that's going to happen. Like I said, I would not be surprised if we do get a swerve with Cody being the actual right hand man to um The Rock, because I know they want to do that Highlander Cody Rhodes. So I would not be surprised if that happened at WrestleMania. Like they used John Cena for a patsy, because like I said, this whole heel turn don't really feel like it's clicking with John Cena. It doesn't. He just feels dry, feels forced. Like I'm not feeling it. But Cody Rhodes as Homelander Cody Rhodes as a heel and joins up with The Rock, I can see it. So they could do that. They could just swerve it and then have Cody be the one that actually joined up with The Rock. Theo says, "I'm still waiting for Raquel's action figure gear." Yeah, she really needs one to come out. I don't know if she has one out. Does she? Kenji says a lot of people were chanting "Dirty Dom." Yeah, I think Liv got them to chant for "Dirty Dom" too again at one of her interviews. So yeah, people will chant it, but like I said, it's a dual chant where he'll get booed, he'll get cheered and booed when appropriate. That's why I'm saying, like, when it comes to this intercontinental match, like he has to probably do something. If they wanted him to be full heel, he's gonna do something to make himself do a triple heel turn. He'll figure it out. Senor says, "I hope Naomi debuts with a new song tomorrow." Yeah, I do too. I want it to be her "I'm Amazing" song when she first turned heel. I want that song to come back. And they used it when she was with Team Bad, with Sasha and Tamina. Like, I want that song back. T22 says, "I hope they turn Bianca heel and start a group with Bianca Naomi last in Jakara." I kind of want Naomi to lead something on her own. Like, if they want to turn Bianca heel, fine. And if they want to do it because she sees what Naomi is saying, that's fine too. I just don't want it to be like Naomi's a patsy. Like, I need Naomi to stand on her own 2 feet. I would only include Meta Girls with Naomi only because I think she could run a group. Bianca, I think she can do something on her own. Like, I don't think she needs to. I don't think she needs a group. And if she wants to turn heel on your own. I don't want her to be linked up with Naomi. She could come back in with Naomi later, but right now, nah. I need Naomi to have enjoy the spoils of her heel turn on her own, and then you can bring in better girls to help fill her out, to help take out Jade, and then go on from there. And she says we are so close to Dom becoming a champ. Yeah, I really think so too. Like I said, 80-20. I gotta allow for Triple H, but I'm really feeling it. And she said, do you think Bianca side with Naomi? I mean, she could in the future, but I don't think she's in on it. That's always been my thing. Like she could join Naomi in the future, and that's fine. But I don't think she was in on the attack, or at least on the initial attack against Jade. And she says Rhea thinks she could take control of everything. Yeah, it's just everything is just Rhea, 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 Rhea. All the glazing. Oh, you're so dominating. Like Pac on the kickoff show, you're so dominating. And I'm like, ugh. It's just exasperating. You got to keep hearing all that shit. Like I don't hear this glazing for nobody else bar Triple H, and Triple H has been getting a ton of glazing. Like it's just been obscene the amount of just so much talking point. Like nobody can say nothing bad against Rhea except Bianca, and look at what happens when she tries to say something bad against Rhea. She gets booed. And people make the point of like Rhea could light kittens on fire in the ring and she would still get cheered. It's just ridiculous. RC22, yeah, they book Iyo like an underdog, even though she's beat Rhea and Bianca countless times. Yeah, I'm like, she's not an underdog. I don't consider her an underdog. She's just being neglected just because she's not having a good command of English. I said this would happen last year. You needed somebody going into WrestleMania that could carry a promo. Liv would have been fine. In fact, if Liv was in this match to make it a fatal four way, she could be doing stuff to make herself the heel where Bianca wouldn't get booed. But see, they didn't want to do that. And now I'm really glad that Liv is away from this shit because now not Rhea, because now Bianca fans are pissed. There's like a major Bianca fan that I keep coming across on my X feed that's just like, after this match, Rhea and Bianca need to be separated. And the Liv fans have been they've just been giddy about telling people we told you so all night because the Bianca fans are hurt, and then Liv fans are like, oh now y'all want to say that you don't want to run around with Rhea. Now y'all want to say that you don't want to fight with Rhea anymore. And Liv fans had to deal with months of this. Liv and Dom fans, Liv, Dom, and Raquel, we had to deal with Rhea's ass for months, making Dom look emasculated, making Raquel look weak, making Liv look like a coward running away all the time. We had to deal with that for months. And now y'all are only 2 months in with Rhea and y'all want to throw up the white flag and get away from her? Hell no. Y'all just gonna have to sit there and take it. Just take it. Sit there and take it. And by the end of WrestleMania, you can probably move on. But we tried to warn you. We told you it wasn't Liv's fault. It wasn't Dom's fault. Dom wasn't the main reason for the feud. It wasn't his fault. Raquel was not an ineffective bodyguard just because of what she was doing. It's all because of booking, and it's all because Rhea had to look strong. So now y'all just got to sit there and take it. And come WrestleMania night 2, if Iyo loses and gets pinned, we can expect those Iyo and Josie fans to flip their shit too. I'm just gonna be sitting there saying, I told you so. I got it loaded up right now. I'm not watching the match. I'm still gonna be protesting that match by not watching it. But I'm gonna be right there saying, I told you so. Like we warned you. This is what happened. Uh let's see. Jacob said, what do you think Liv and Dawn would look like at the HOF? I'm hoping they're matching. I'm pretty sure they have a cute fit if they both show up to the HOF. I know Liv's got a busy night because she's got that WrestleMania after party like during the HOF, so I don't know. Kenji says, I don't think Dom will turn on Finn. I think it's going to be after WrestleMania. They could do that, but I'm thinking and I'm hoping that they just gonna pull the trigger at WrestleMania. Like, it's gone on long enough. We can't keep dragging this on. It's been months. It's been since last year. There's been many times where they could have pulled the trigger and they didn't. So they just need to go on and pull the trigger on Finn. Get that match and that feud started between Dom and Finn. Because right now it's just pulling teeth at this point. Make it stop. Ben Hockey, why was Bailey not there? That's interesting. Yeah, like there was a whole bunch of people missing from the kickoff show. Liv, Raquel, Bailey, Lyra, um, AJ, and Logan Paul. Like there's just matches missing and people missing where they should have been on there for a little bit. Um, let's see. Ben Hockey. I think Bianca and Naomi are protecting Bailey, and I think she attacks Jace. Why would they be protecting Bailey? Naomi, I could see covering for Bailey because they're buddies, but Bianca, nah. I mean, she just only recently got cool with Bailey. So she would probably be the first one to rat out Bailey if it came to Jade. So I don't really believe that. Kendall said, if not for Dom, then what? He's waited long enough for a push. Yeah, that's the thing with Dom. We've been waiting so long. That's why I say don't be, the process is fucked, and don't tell people to be patient because how long have been waiting? Years for Dom. And look at what they did with Carmella now. He got the Here Damn award for the Andre the Giant Battle Royal. And so he finally gets that. Like, what does that lead to? At least with the Andre the Giant award, at least see if that could lead to something. They could have put like a stipulation on it, like, okay, this gets a title shot or some kind of future stipulation or something like that. But what does the winning award do? I know Bronson, we won it. Was it last year? But it took him a while to get going to the point where he was getting, traction before he got injured. Ben Hockey says, I think Alexa and Nixie cost Liv and Raquel. Why? There has been no connection between Alexa and Nikki just yet. I can see them showing up at WrestleMania, maybe separate or together, but they need to do a lot of work to get them together to cost them. Because why would Alexa and Nikki work with each other out of the blue? That doesn't make sense. It's like how people were saying we wanted Alexa and Liv at WrestleMania. It's like, who is this we? No, we did not. We were worried about Alexa mixing WrestleMania because there was no matches for her. Nobody really wanted, at least on the Liv Dom side, wanted Alexa. And they always want to bring up, well, she eliminated, Liv eliminated Alexa. Yeah, but Alexa eliminated Roxanne. Did we see Roxanne going after Alexa? Like you gotta look at how the setup is. Yeah, anybody in those types of match, anything goes. I mean, you could start a storyline from that, but just due to an elimination. Kendall said, "Do you believe Alexa and Nikki show up after Liv and Raquel's match?" That's the rumor. They could, but like I said, they got to do some work. I could see Alexa maybe popping up, but I would more expect Alexa and the Wyatt Six to kind of show up and maybe like hint at working together first before Alexa and Nikki go after Liv and Raquel. Because remember, Liv and Raquel, if they're still the champions, still have that title match in NXT for whoever wins that match at Stand and Deliver tomorrow. So I believe anything Alexa and Nikki wise, if it happens, happens after that. It's not going to be immediate. You already said, did you see Punk and Finn interacting on NXT? And like, yeah, I saw it, and Punk was saying, "Don't trust Dom." Like, why are we always on Dom's ass, sir? Next says, Serena said, "I don't have to wrestle. Do you think we get a WrestleMania screw job? If we do, I hope not, because I mean, it's Cena, it's The Rock. I would not be surprised anymore. People saying that Seth could join in. I really don't believe Seth there. I think Seth loses there. Now, can I believe he turns heel? Yeah, but I don't believe we're on Seth with The Rock. Like everybody's looking for all these clues. Like Seth held this microphone a certain way that could be with The Rock. I'm like, ugh. He had a Rock spit. I'm like, see, Seth always dressed cunty. Like for years, he's always dressed cunty. So I mean, that's nothing new. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. We could get a screw job out of it. Dirt Nick says, I think Seth's gonna be a new Paul Heyman guy. I think Paul just walks away from all of them. Because I think Paul is probably gonna walk away from Roman, and he probably walk away from Punk. I'm not sure if he's gonna join up with Seth though. And that's it for the questions right now. I'm gonna go into what I think is gonna happen with my night 1 and night 2 predictions. So starting off with night 1, Roman versus Seth versus CM Punk. CM Punk wins that. Like I said earlier, Heyman's probably ditching Roman, and he won't join up with anyone. A huge swerve would be like him joining up with somebody like Dom or something like that. Like that would be like a swerve. I don't really think he hooks up with Seth. I mean, he could be a wise man to The Rock, but who knows at this point? It's convoluted, but I think CM Punk wins so he can get on the title path. Gunther versus Jey Uso. Jay's gonna win it. That's the rumored opener. I think that is the opener for night one. So they're gonna have Jay win to set the tone off right, so everybody can yeet away at the start of the show. It is what it is. Women's championship match between Tiffany Stratton and Charlotte Flair. Charlotte to win, so she's close to the Ric Flair's record because it's obvious that they want her to break Wick's record. I don't see any scenario where Tiffany could win unless they're going to go for the story of Charlotte coming up short, but I doubt it. Tiffany's just going to take the loss on that one. United States Championship, LA Knight versus Jacob Fatu. I think Fatu is going to win because he's going to start butting heads with Solo Sikoa, and they might even start a new bloodline, like new bloodline, not Timu bloodline, but new bloodline. With Fatu as the with the leader there. You could also expect Tonga Loa to probably show up, or maybe another Samoan to show up to help out Fatu, and then that kicks off that whole storyline on SmackDown. Naomi versus Jade. It's a toss up between Naomi and Jade, but I'm really hoping Naomi wins because I think she has the better momentum, and I think it would benefit her story more to win. Jade could take a loss, and if they protect it by like maybe having Naomi bring in the Meta Girls into it, then that's fine. She gets a protected loss. Naomi wins, and they can circle back around to Naomi and Jade later. And then, like I said, I do expect Naomi to interfere in the women's triple threat match the next night to attack Bianca. Um, Rey Mysterio versus El Grande Americano. Now, with Rey's injury, he may not be in this match. It might be somebody like Dragon Lee. But I wasn't. I was expecting Rey to win, but here's the thing. I think this kind of fits into Dom's favor that he has with Chad Gable. So I'm just really thinking because of tonight, like if everything went well with the match tonight, I think it was just setting up so Ray could have the momentum going in, El Grande Americano to have sneak out a win tomorrow against Ray, and to finish off his favor with Dom, he was going to show up and attack Penta on night two because Chad has some unfinished business with Penta, so he can go and confront as El Grande Americano. He can go and confront Penta because he has this confidence of beating Rey Mysterio. So if Ray is not injured and he can still go, I can expect that to happen. Or you could have just Ray win straight out. But if Ray is injured, I'm not sure what happens with that match. Um, mm, mm, mm. And then the World Tag Team Champions with Viking Raiders versus New Day. This whole thing is boring. New Day to win. I think they need to get it off the Viking Raiders. They have a heel, and then they can have like Nathan Frazer and Axiom come up to Raw and challenge them for the tag team titles because they're a face team, so they can have a feud going there and go on from there. Um, Night two, Undisputed Championship with Cody Rhodes and John Cena. My heart wants Cody to win because I don't like part-time champions. Uh, I dealt with that with Brock Lesnar when he was barely there, and Roman Reigns was a little bit better because he was actually showing up at PLEs, but he wasn't. But he still wasn't there all the time. I just don't like part-time champions. I mean, that's what sucked about Logan Paul. That's what sucked about Shinsuke. Like they're not there. You need to be there to build up storylines. Um, and yeah, Cena could get the victory to match a record, but still, I don't think he's there enough to warrant that. Like I said, there could be a swerve in this match where they could have it where Cody is the one that joined up with The Rock, really and truly. But if Cena wins, he wins. Like it's a toss up. You can either go Cody or you can go Cena with that match. But I'd probably go Cena just because of the way things are going. Um, Women's World Championship, Iyo Sky, Bianca Belair, Rhea Ripley. Night 2 opener. I'm not watching out of the protest, but I fully expect Rhea to win. There is nothing that indicates that she won't win, and people are delusional that thinking she's going to go through some character growth when she loses. Nah, that's not going to happen. She's not going to get any kind of character growth because she still keeps getting cheered. And you notice what Triple H said? he's pretty much all over her. He thinks of her as a daughter and stuff like that. And he's got this China thing, guilt still hanging over him. So I really don't think Rhea is going to lose the match. She's going to win. He's either going to double stack Iyo and Bianca, or she's going to pin Iyo to protect Bianca's not never been pinned streak at WrestleMania. And again, her winning sets the tone for the night because it's a face. People will pop, people will celebrate, and it sets the tone for the rest of the night. So I expect Rhea to win. And I'm going to be on the next thing. I told you so when that happens. AJ Styles versus Logan Paul. Not really caring about this match, but AJ was probably going to win due to Karrion Kross influence, and that's that dark double on your shoulder type influence. I'm not sure if AJ will go back heel, but maybe he could collab with Finn Balor when he finally gets ousted from Judgment Day and they can form Bullet Club or something like that. Balor Club again. Something like that. Women's Tag Championship match between Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez. Versus Bayley and Lyra. I expect Liv and Raquel to win this. I really don't care about the dissension between Lyra and Bayley. I'm kind of hoping Liv pins Lyra because it can insert Liv into the IC scene. They can do something with that until Becky returns. Because I really think I want Liv versus Becky sooner than later. And it just makes sense to her to have that IC title so Becky could go after it. Then just Becky coming back just to feud over like a tag or something like that. So, Intercontinental Championship match. Actually, let me go with the street fight. Street fight versus Drew McIntyre versus Damian Priest. I want Drew to win this. I wouldn't be surprised if Damian won because they really want to build him up for some reason, but I think Drew should win this. I think he got robbed out of a lot of things. Like he got robbed out of a feud with Roman. So I'm really hoping he just gets this win here against Damian. Put a bow on it, finish out the feud with Damian over what happened last year at WrestleMania, and go on from there. Like this is like a something to hold over Drew, and I think he would do better in a title scene like against Cody than just losing this straight out to Damian Priest. And Intercontinental Championship match: Braun Breaker versus Penta versus Finn Balor versus Dominik Mysterio. Expect all the shenanigans in this match, like all of it, interference, barricades, all the stuff. This can be where the new Judgment Day member debuts. We can have Liv take a spear, but I expect Dom to win by pitting Finn, and that sets up the Judgment Day implosion and then Dom will take over as the leader. So those are those predictions for Randy's mystery partner. I don't know. It could be anyone. It could be Miro, or Rusev, or like Karrion Kross. It could be anybody. Whoever they select. So it is what it is. So to break down the IC match a little bit further, like I said, I expect all the shenanigans. I expect Carlito. I would not be surprised if we see JD show up. But I'm really expecting all the shenanigans, and I'm really wishing that they would put like a stipulation on this match, like a special one, like street fight, something like that. But I guess it's just gonna be a straight up match. The Fatal 4-Ways don't have DQs anyway, but I was hoping they would put some kind of stipulation on it. But it is what it is. What I would do, or what I would think, is that we're gonna get interference from all people. So we'll have Carlito and maybe JD come out to interfere with Braun Breaker. Expect Carlito to get another spear. And I would even expect Liv to come out and she might even get that spear too. Something to distract Braun. She's taken out. Or we can even get like Liv, like I said before, Liv gets a spear because Finn pulled her into it, and then that starts to crash out with Dom. So he crashes out against Finn, and then there's that break that happens there. Or we can get that classic spot of like what was it, Triple H versus Shawn Michaels versus John Cena, and where at the start of the match, Shawn Michaels just super kicks Triple H, and then you could put Dom in the Shawn Michaels position there, and go on from there. Like we could get that type of spot in the match too. For Penta, I'm really expecting that it's El Grande that comes in and interferes. Because like I said, Chad owes Dom the favor. And if he's, got the win and he's feeling boisterous because he beat Rey Mysterio, if Rey's still able to work, then he goes on, he takes out Penta, and then that's Penta being eliminated for the match. Now with Finn, this is where it gets tricky because you could have like Finn get taken out, like you could do like the ending sequence of a spear to, let's see, maybe a spear, like Penta takes out Finn, and then a spear to Penta, and then or something like that, something where everybody gets distracted. Braun gets distracted, Penta gets distracted, maybe even taken out. And that leaves Finn, where he's probably taken a lot of these finishers, and then Dom steals the pin by covering Finn. Like Braun does a spear on the Finn, like he finally hits that spear, and then Dom steals the pin when like the new Judgment Day member comes out, or El Grande. So Dom steals the pin. 1, 2, 3. He's the new winner. Finn is, still out. And then you could either do like the kick out then, or that might can even a little bit wait till tomorrow, like the actual kick out maybe. But you see the split happen there at WrestleMania. Like the official split, it needs to start at WrestleMania. You can't put like the split starting on the Raw after WrestleMania. It needs to happen at WrestleMania. So there's just so many possibilities there. What I'm hoping for is that Liv gets some kind of spot from Braun, or that she gets pulled into something with Finn that takes her out because she's like protecting Dom, and then Dom crashes out against Finn. I think I want a Dom crash out against Finn because he's been so laid back about it. Like I think a lot of people would want to see crash out Dom, because when he flips his switch, he flips the switch. We've seen that with Ray and Edge. Like if we get what happened at Clash at the Castle against Finn, like on a more tuned up basis, and it's probably going to be something. And that's probably where the triple heel turn comes into play. And then you get Dom's in there to steal the victory because everybody's been discounting him, and then we go on from there. That's what I think happened. But I think that's it. I don't want to hold y'all too long because HOF is in 30 minutes. Let's go back to the list of questions, shall we? Kendall says, if the IC match goes on first, Dom wins. Do you think he comes out with Liv and Raquel's entrance? The IC match does not go on first. That'll be the women's triple threat match that's opening on night 2. So I'm not sure where the IC match or the women's tag are placed on the show, but it's not going to start first. Now, they could be around for each other's entrance. Like, I do expect a Liv to be a part of Dom's entrance. But like I said, it depends on what's going on with the rest of the card. We haven't gotten match order yet, so all we know is like the openers and closers for night 1 and 2 at this moment. Yours says, do you think TJ on the Judgment Day will win back the tag titles this year? They could if they get this new member in there, like with JD or something like that. Or they bring up somebody, like we bring up an actual tag team to help out Judgment Day, then they could get them back. Daria says, really, I would be surprised if Rhea wins. Like, if Rhea was just booked as normal, then I would probably say that she probably wouldn't win. But this is Rhea, and Triple H has a hard on for her, so I would not be surprised if Rhea won. Daria says, I can't wait for my boy Dom win the IC title and Liv Dom have titles, and I hope Liv helps. Yeah, I think we want that reciprocation from Liv. Like Dom's helped out Liv, he's helped out Raquel. It's time for people to actually help out Dom and help him win the title. Like, and that should be Liv because he helped her out since like King of the Ring last year. So we need that reciprocation from her. Jacob says, "What if he brings his wife to the HOF?" I don't know. I mean, Rhea brought Buddy to the HOF. We saw him. I mean, it happens. They probably just won't show her on camera, or like they'll have Liv and Dom show up in like certain spots, and then he'll go and sit with his wife for the rest of the night or something like that. And I think that is it. I'm gonna be on tomorrow, probably after WrestleMania. I might even try something like after Stand and Deliver. But I'll be on after night 1, and then I'll see if I can do my live tweet live reaction for night 2 as soon as we get the match card. And then we'll see how that goes. Remember, HOF is at midnight, my time, Central Standard Time. So that's on in about 20 minutes if y'all want to watch that. And we'll see what's going to go along with all the fashions and things like that. Again, prayers to Ray Ray. We want him to be healthy. If he can't wrestle, he can't wrestle. His health comes first. I don't want him to risk it all in this little silly match that probably shouldn't have been on the card in the first place. So, prayers to Ray Ray. Y'all have a good night. Enjoy WrestleMania weekend. Hopefully, I'll be able to get this up tomorrow for my predictions. And yeah, I will see y'all back here tomorrow for night 1 reactions. And so I will talk to y'all later. Bye bye for now. Thanks for tuning in to the Wrestling Receipts podcast. Remember to follow me on the X at WMaven WWE and on TikTok at WriterMaven for more wrestling insights and live reactions every Monday night after Raw. Until next time, I'm just saying.